If you wish to move to Europe without a job offer, you should look for countries that allow candidates to enter using a certain kind of visa known as the job seeker visa. The good news is that more European countries are introducing this kind of visa. Initially, only Germany and Austria had job seeker visas, but Portugal announced last month that they will be launching this visa due to a severe labor shortage. And now the same pattern can be seen and followed in more countries. So Sweden is now the fourth European country to have recently launched its job seeker visa. This means that you can move to Sweden even if you don't have a job offer. To give you some context, Sweden is experiencing a shortage of people with specific skill sets in certain key fields such as nurses, doctors, system developers, teachers, carpenters, electricians, and mechanics, to mention but a few. This scarcity is expected to last for the next 5 to 10 years. Furthermore, you did not need to know Swedish to study or work in Sweden. I can tell you certainly that virtually everyone in Sweden knows English because English is taught in Swedish schools. As a result, you will not face any discrimination if you do not speak Swedish. Hello everyone and welcome to this channel. Today we are going to be discussing the job seeker visa for Sweden, its eligibility requirements, the duration, whether family are permitted to migrate with you under this visa type, and the required documentations, and most importantly, the step-by-step process of you applying for this particular visa. Without further ado, let's proceed with this video. First and foremost, what is a job seeker visa? The term job seeker visa refers to a category of visa that enables you to go to Sweden without a job offer in order for you to look for employment or to establish a business in the country. Eligibility criteria for getting Sweden's job seeker visa. You must meet 6 requirements if you wish to travel to Sweden to look for work or to set up a business. The first requirement that is expected of you is that you must have completed your studies corresponding to an advanced level degree. Now, what that means is that for a particular degree to be counted as an advanced level degree, it must correspond to a 60 credit load master's degree or a 120 credit load master's degree, any of these two. Then it should also correspond to at least a professional degree that is worth between 60 to 330 credits, or a postgraduate or PhD level degree, irrespective of your chosen field of study. So in order for you to verify your educational documents while submitting your application, you are expected to enclose a copy of the letter of consent, which will give the Swedish Council for Higher Education, UHR, the right to contact the higher institution in your home country in order to verify your educational documents. So this is our Swedish Migration Agency. We have to send these documents to the UHR so that they can assess your level of education. Also note that they cannot answer questions about the level of your degree before you have made your application. So it implies that you must have submitted the application, then they will go through the documents, accompanying documents you submitted alongside with it in order to process your application accordingly. Secondly, you are expected by the Swedish authorities to ensure that you plan to seek employment or to equally explore different possibilities of starting up a business in Sweden. So you shouldn't apply for this if you are not really convinced about taking any of these two options, which is seeking for employment in Sweden or setting up a business in Sweden. Now, the third requirement is that you must be able to support yourself during the period for which you are applying for the permit. This is a residency permit in Sweden. And you must also have the finance required to cover the cost of your journey. So your return trip should equally be taken care of while you are preparing to embark on this. Then the fourth requirement is that you must have a comprehensive health insurance which must be valid, within your years of stay in Sweden. That's the first 2 years, because this particular job seeker visa offers you a residency permit in Sweden for 2 years before you can apply for permanent residency. Then the next one, which is the fifth requirement, is that you must have a valid passport, for the entire period that you intend to stay in Sweden. So if your passport is about to expire, you must make sure that you extend the validity period so that you can, get enough permit for this particular application that you are working on. Also, the sixth requirement is that you must be currently located outside of Sweden. So you must not be living inside the country at the moment. You must be, from other residing in other countries other than Sweden. So therefore, you can apply for this visa if you are located in India or Pakistan or Sri Lanka or any country in Africa or any other part of the world. Also note that when it comes to the duration of this particular visa, the duration is between a minimum of 3 months and not more than 9 months. So during this period that you have this residency permit, your family cannot move to Sweden to live with you. What documents are required for you to be able to apply for this job seeker visa in Sweden? There are basically 6 key documents that are required of you. The first one is that you are expected to provide digital copies of the pages in your passport, which should show clearly your personal data, signature, passport number, issuing country, period of validity, entry stamps, and if you have permission to live in countries other than your country of origin, that's your country of nationality. Then, secondly, you're expected to provide digital copies of examination certificates. So, all your educational qualifications you've acquired over the years, you have to provide the digital copy of each and every one of them. Then, thirdly, you are expected to provide digital copies of your official transcripts of your academic records, which should show clearly your courses, and every of them that are included in your education in your home country or your country of residence. Then, fourthly, you're expected to also provide digital copies of bank statements or your financial accounts or other documents which should show that you have sufficient funds to support yourself during the period for which you are applying for this particular visa and residence permit in Sweden. You must also specify if there is a special permission that is required from the central bank of your country or any other equivalent regulatory body if there is need to take out some money from your bank account in your country to foot some of your bills so that you won't encounter hitches during your stay in Sweden. Then you are also expected to provide digital copies of documents which show that you have comprehensive health insurance that is valid for care in Sweden. So then the sixth requirement is that you are to provide digital copy of a signed letter of consent that gives the Swedish Council for Higher Education (UHR) the right to contact the higher education institution in your home country in order to verify all the educational documents that you submitted during the course of this application. Now, there's also the download letter of consent. So I'm going to show you what it looks like so that you see the inner contents of it. So this is it now. This is the letter of consent. So you have to download it. Actually, it is in PDF. So after downloading it, you fill it, scan it, and send it back alongside with your application. So this is where you enter your name, then you enter your full name here. See, first name first, then surname, then date, and your signature. Then the next thing, which is the seventh option for the documents that you have to submit, is that you should be able to make a payment of the application fee using either your credit card or your debit card. So when it comes to how you can apply for this particular job seeker visa, I'm going to show you a demo now. So when you come to this page, you see that there are basically two methods of submitting your application via what is known as the e-service option, which you can see from here, this right sidebar. You can click on apply, or you can go ahead to download this form at the bottom part of this page. Let me show you. This is it. So it's actually a form that is downloadable that you can fill and submit back to them via their email. So this is the form. I'm going to show you the online version. So right here inside this form, you can see residence permit for highly qualified persons to look for work or start a business in Sweden. Okay, so right here you have to fill your details: surname, first name, citizenship, that's country of citizenship, place of birth, native language, then country of birth. If you've got a previous citizenship, you indicate it. Then your date of birth. If you have previous surname, maybe if you are married, or maybe you did a change of name, you can equally specify that, is if any. Then when you come to this section, you see passport details. You enter your passport details, then contact details. Then very important that it's very, very crucial that you pay attention to your contact details, especially your phone number and your email, because they are going to be giving you feedback and updates about the status of your application from time to time through your email and your phone number. So you also have to specify the financial support aspect and other parts here. Like you can see the medical health insurance section. So you have to take your time to go ahead and print this out, fill it diligently, then submit it back to them via their contact email on this their platform. I'm going to drop the link to this in the description of this video. So that's how to really submit your application, that using the form option, offline form option. Then for the online, you go ahead to click here. So you can either do the online version or the offline, but don't do both of them for one application. So you must do it once using one of the two methods. So there are basically two options, the offline and the online. So this is for the online version. Also, note that if you come to this page and you are yet to create an account here, you can go ahead to click on this username and password, so that it's going to bring to this portal. So if you have an account already with their platform, you can enter your email or username and your password. But if not, you can go ahead to create an account. Note that it's very important that you create one account per time, because duplicate accounts will attract you being penalized on this platform. So you go ahead to enter your email, password, confirm password, accept the terms of use, then authentication captcha, then you move to the next. So like I said earlier, you are going to receive an email from them from time to time that details the current status of your application process. Then also remember that it is this same content here that you are definitely going to see inside the online form. It's the same thing. So what you have in this offline option is what you have online. The only difference is that you have to download these, print them out, fill them, scan them back, and submit and send to their email address. So that's the two options that are available for you to utilize. So you can see it is specified here that if you cannot make your application in the e-service, that's the online portal, you should instead fill this form I've shown you here, this PDF form, this particular form now. This is it. So it's written explicitly here. Then also make sure that you can see that if you are filling the offline form, the PDF form, you must submit the form and attach the required documents, at and submit them at the Swedish embassy or consulate in your country of residence. Then, if you are applying at that embassy, that's if you are submitting at the Swedish embassy or consulate general, you have to pay the application fee when handing in your application right there at the embassy. Then there are different Swedish embassy designations in different countries. So I'm going to open this up now so that you see. These are embassy of Swedish government in different countries. So this is their website actually. So depending on your country, you can go ahead to check the location of the Swedish embassy in your country and reach out to them. That's after you fill this form. You can reach out to them for more clarification and for submission of your application for this particular opportunity. Also note that if your application is approved, you will get a particular card known as a residence permit card. So depending on the duration that is specified by the Swedish embassy. So your card is a proof that you have permission to be in Sweden, and it contains your fingerprint and a photo of you and other information relevant to your application. So if you also need an entry visa to travel to Sweden, you should equally visit the Swedish embassy or consulate general in your home country. Then also know that if you get a job in Sweden during the permit period, you can equally apply for a work permit from within the country. That is when you are inside the country, Sweden specifically. So you are not expected to start working before you have applied for a new permit. That's when the initial one has expired. Also know that once you have applied for a work permit, you'll be able to work while the Swedish Migration Agency processes your new application. And you are also only allowed to work for your employer and in a profession for which you have applied for a permit. So you shouldn't think of switching job roles abruptly immediately you arrive in Sweden. No, you have to stick to your employer at least for the first 2 years before you can decide whether to switch to other work or other employment opportunities that will come your way. All right, guys, hope you found this video helpful. If you have any question or observation or concerns, you can drop it down below in the comment section of this video. Meanwhile, the link to this Swedish application portal is going to be in the description of this video. So if you are a new viewer on this channel, kindly subscribe if you are yet to subscribe. Also, like this video, give it a thumbs up and turn on your notification bell icon so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever we post new videos about several opportunities for you to migrate abroad and travel with your family, and equally set up businesses and work in other countries. So till we come your way again with another wonderful video, keep winning.